Hello everyone, welcome to another devlog. I'm on like take 8 or something because I keep talking and it's been making these videos very long, so I'm not gonna go as in depth. I kind of do want to, but I feel like that would just hamper what people are watching, so I'm not going to. Let's go over it. Juggernog has been added. A lot of the stuff that I wanted to do last devlog have been added except for grenades and melee weapons. So Juggernog is just a playable object. It creates Juggernog onto the player, it modifies the player's health, and that's that. Crafting bench. The way that the crafting bench works is it has an item group. The item group is just essentially a list of items. The player has an inventory component, and there can be multiple. They all contain a group, and if the player has this group of items and then goes to the crafting bench and crafts it, then, well, the item will spawn and then you can grab the item from the crafting bench. Pack-a-Punch works the same as normal Call of Duty Pack-a-Punch does from like Black Ops, or from World at War to Black Ops 2. Except we have augments, which is something I talked about in the last video. The augments currently don't work specifically, but the way that augments work is you have an augment table, it will pick something from the table, so it will roll between min and max. It will add that. That is not permanent. You will have to go to a melder and meld it to your weapon to make it permanent, and it will cap out at a certain value. Now we have flat rolls, and these get added immediately, and they do not cap out, and they are, yeah, they're flat. They're flat rolls. We also have the upgrade settings for your weapons. Well, this just works like a regular Call of Duty does, except Call of Duty just completely gives you another weapon, and this will just apply some nice modifiers to it. And every weapon will have their own settings, so that's essentially how it works. If I look at the weapons, if you look here, it has upgrade settings, it has an augment table, and there. We have the mystery box. I got a little bit of a graphical upgrade, but it won't be like this because I don't want it to be a mystery box. Yeah, it's that easy. So, the animations has changed. We're no longer on completely dynamic animations. We have some idle walk and run animations. We have a leaning blend tree, which will be replaced by dynamic animations. We have some actions, which is shot and reload. Later on, what we're gonna do is, for example, for grenades, which are currently not in the game, we're going to add an animation that is a grenade throw, and what it essentially be is an animation override that has just shift between weight, has an animation mask on its left arm, and just throws a grenade, and it's kind of that easy. And let's actually just kind of show off the features of the game right now. So let's go quickly through the animation. As you can see, we have some leaning, we have some walking, we have some running even. Aiming down sights. This is the only thing that works kind of procedural right now, even though it kind of like shifts really weirdly. That's because it's just done different. It's done badly, but whatever. Yeah, you can fire, as you can see, a base damage of 64, headshot damage of 128. And while we are leaning, we can animate, or we can reload, and it's a little bit bugged, but that's fine because this won't stay, and it all just works. So let's go, and I'm gonna pick up this item. Let's go to here. Well, nope, I gotta craft it. Let's go here. Let's actually quickly go into here, and now I can craft it. And I pick up the sight. It clearly doesn't do anything, but it's a proof of concept essentially. I just have to put in the finishing touches. Now, let's look at Pack-a-Punch. There we go. My weapon's upgraded as a new camo. Well, body damage was 64. Now it's 128. Headshot damage was 128. Now it's 256. And unfortunately, augments, while I can add them to my weapon, they just don't do anything. And the only small change that has been made is that essentially just the setup, the arms stay automatically they have an animator, and then we have the weapon that animates, and then every time you have a new weapon animator, or you have a new weapon, the arms will have an animator override controller, and there's there, and the weapon will have its own animation playing at the same time. And I can pick up other weapons. Currently, there's a little bit of a bug that the animator gets disabled, but it's easily fixed. And this is essentially an entirely new game object compared to last time. Well, let's talk about the future, and that is that what's going to change? Well, I want to add the grenade throwing animations as I've demonstrated by talking about it, how that's going to happen. I want to flesh out the animations because they're currently they're okay, they're totally fine. I want to make sure that the dynamic animations actually work. That requires a little bit of recoding of the components. If you look at the actual components that are sitting on the animator, which I think is, yeah, there we go. The only component that's on it now is aiming, and doing any other component will just break it because the positions aren't correct. And that will be changed, and that I will alter that. What my goal is to make a basic testbed, essentially just a map that works, which requires me adding around AI spawning, a more complex but still very simple AI behavior, and just spawning these objects around the place and doing something with them just to get something basic like Nacht Der Untoten. I possibly want to bug fix animations and some other stuff, but I'm going to, or my goal is to develop something for Steam Next Fest in January. And that requires me to make a finished game, so I want to create bit by bit my finished game and essentially just go and make certain milestones. So a milestone where the game is playable on a basic level, a milestone where there are multiple different weapons, just some examples. A milestone where I have a solid amount of perks, like, because I have a bunch of perk ideas that I want to explore, see if those are good for the game. Things that I can craft, stuff like that. Like, let's say you have a crafting bench where you can create a special type of grenade. Yeah, maybe I want to do that. Like, maybe I want to implement monkey bombs. Just having that basic testbed means that I can immediately test out the changes in better scenarios. And that also means that my game has better parity with what's out there. Because the ultimate goal is simply to just have a game that it has at least the basics of Call of Duty Zombies, and that is playable. Because there's a lot of features in there, but we don't know how they work together. Because I don't know. Because there's just no basic like gameplay loop, because it doesn't exist. And that's my next goal. Create that basic gameplay loop, make sure that all the features work without error, and making sure that the game is fun, because that's what it's all about. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a great day.